Hey everyone, and welcome to PGN Live. It is April 2nd, 2026. We are one day removed from the release of the Super Mario Galaxy movie, which hit theaters yesterday and opened up to a whopping $34 million, the highest ever for a Wednesday, April debut in history. I'm really excited for the box office results from the week's first 5 day, or the movie I should say, and its 5 day debut run. Will it beat out the original? Will it get close? Time will tell. But in the meantime, let's get the pop out chat rolling, see who is in his Mario Galaxy stuff, no spoilers, but really talking about the Famitsu sales because it is Thursday. And that's just one of the things we do on Thursdays. So let me open this up, see who's here, and we'll get to it. Okay. iByzantium says, Happy PGN Live. Thank you, iByzantium, for being here. Welcome. Ash Gaming, hi. Let's go. That's right, Ash. Let's go indeed. Kong Donk, welcome, welcome. How's it going today? I'm going to make a couple of adjustments. Let's see, 1 second. By the way, chat, can you confirm that you're still here? I just got a notification from Streamlabs saying reconnecting. So there might have been a little bit of a slowdown or hiccup perhaps in the internet connection. Okay, I think we're good because I see Roger and your 2066 is here saying greetings to everyone. Happy Thursday to all.
Join Planet Fitness for 1 cent down, $15 a month.
Welcome, Roger. And Kong Donk, you're confirming that yes, we're good. Okay, cool. Audio is not synced. So there is a little bit of a delay. Does the audio sound clear at least? You know what? Let me try this 1 second. Okay. Maybe that helped on the audio side. Oh, never mind, fixed. Okay, I don't know if that fixed right before I did what I did, which is sometimes an unplug and replug, or worked out on its own. By the way, I didn't put this in the subject title, but kind of interesting, kind of cool, is that subscription total. I don't know if y'all see that little number right over there, but it's been steadily going up. And I remember when it was close to 8,800, I thought, oh wow, 9,000 is going to happen probably in the first half of the year. And then we hit 8,900, and now we are 20 away from that 9,000. My thought was maybe 9,000 right around April 1st, plus or minus. Evidently, we are just 20 away on April 2nd. So that's pretty close to what I was thinking. And I appreciate you all being here. And I'm thankful for the new subscribers. And I'm thankful for the members. We're at 165 right now. let me do an audio check on this end. I know we're good on your end, but let me do one more thing. Okay, Roger, you just refreshed the browser, which helped. Good. Okay. Before we go into the video game sales, we'll let a little bit of time go by for more people to show up in the stream, since I think folks look forward to that Thursday drop of news. So what's happening on the X sphere? Anything? Probably a lot of talk on the Super Mario Galaxy movie, if I had to guess. I'm seeing a lot of people rave about it. As I mentioned, you could see here the little story by IGN, and I already mentioned it. $34 million in the US. That's the highest debut of any film in 2026 thus far, and it's the highest Wednesday opening of any April in US history at the box office, which is super cool. A lot of people really dig it. Far more are sharing positive remarks on it than not. Will it be everyone's favorite film? No. But I think if you're a Nintendo fan, here's kind of how I break it down. By the way, Ash, thank you for the post on X. I appreciate it. Here's kind of how I look at it. If you're a general fan of Nintendo's, a general fan of Mario's, like you've played some games in any decade for any amount of time, just some knowledge, some liking of Mario and or Nintendo, you'll like the movie. If you're in the camp of you're someone who liked the first movie, also as kind of a casual person, chances are you'll like this one too. I think the greater of a Nintendo fan or the greater of a Mario fan that you are, you'll enjoy it that much more because you'll appreciate the bits of music that tug at the heartstrings, that fill you up with nostalgia more than other folks. You will recognize and think it's cool to see those characters more than the standard goer. You know, for you, there are more characters and a greater connection that you have with them because you've been a fan for a longer time or you hold the IP or IPs more dear, right? So, casual Nintendo viewer, fan will enjoy it. Bigger Nintendo, bigger Mario fan, enjoy it more. Somebody with a completely objective viewpoint, no familiarity with the franchise or the IP, maybe has seen the first movie but no otherwise idea on what is Mario, what's this Nintendo stuff all about. I think you're still getting a fun, colorful experience with a variety of music, a cool cast of characters, and a fun story that starts here and ends here and has different points of relevance as to why events happened. And without understanding everything, still a fun ride. It's hard for me to be completely objective in it and grade the movie from that perspective because I have so much love for Mario and for Nintendo and these characters. But even looking at it from the side, I'm like, you know what? It's a fun, cool little story. And they made it feel big, despite it being a shorter film. And I think that even with all the new characters, they didn't not do anything to evolve the storylines of who we were introduced to in the first movie, while also giving a decent amount of attention to the new folks. So there was this balance, and that's not the easiest thing to do in a movie with so many characters. I loved it though. G Maze 44 says the movie was amazing. Saw it last night, almost teared up when they played the Gusty Garden melody. Yeah, there's some music in there that's so lovely that this will be a film that I watch multiple times. You know, I was talking in yesterday's live stream how I don't repeat movies all that often. I will with this one. I did with the Super Mario Brothers movie. You know, I don't know my total on how many times have I seen that first one, but it's probably approaching a dozen times. It might not be quite that high, but approaching it, like I said, you know. CBH is here. What's up? Published. Oh, was Samus's ship in the movie? I didn't catch it if it was. So I won't be replying to any questions not general, broad enough, how I liked it or not, or what's in the trailers or what's been revealed in a poster, just to not ruin anyone's day. So, yeah. Because this will still be spoiler-free discussion. You know, eventually we'll have a more open talk on, hey, let's talk about that movie now that it's been out for a few weeks, and probably an overwhelming vast majority of folks in this community have seen it, you know. But no spoilers for me. CBH saying Star Fox, yeah. J Biggs, Mr. NY for life, welcome. What's up, my Galeverse friends? Welcome, welcome. Yes, I literally got chills when they played melodies from the games. Absolutely. Crazy Scott, what's up? Pokemon Fan 34. Hi all. Hi there. Crazy Scott, what is Mario? Where is Mario? How is Mario? Those are the important questions, you know. Nintex too dope in the house. Mario, they ruined him. Miyamoto's nuts, fire him. Boo. Did you see it, Nintex too dope? I take it that you're kidding, but I'm curious. Did you see it? And if so, what did you think? Oh, saw the movie. Its story wasn't the best, but loved the Easter eggs and Yoshi. Please, no spoilers for the Mario Galaxy movie. Some of us have not seen it yet. Thank you. Yeah, definitely. This is a no spoiler conversation. Yeah, reminder, folks. Talk about how you liked it, if you liked it or not, how much you liked it. You could talk about the visuals and the music, whether they were enjoyable or not. But yeah, nothing on, you know, story or characters, especially if it wasn't in a trailer. Jay Guerrero, man, that movie made me smile. They know they're Nintendo games. Immediately came home and played Smash Bros. Haha, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I came home and I was thinking, I gotta see that again. Which I'm gonna go this Saturday. And I'm looking forward to it because, you know, when I go this Saturday, I'll be able to see the excitement from my family while still watching the movie. But I'm looking forward to their laughs, their wows, their oh my goshes. And that's going to be pretty special, you know? You loved Yoshi. AJ Rax 0440. I am going to watch it today. Right on. LOL, now I don't go to movies, but I've heard mostly negatives for the movie. Nintex too dope? They are wrong. Ah, come on. Okay, everyone's allowed to have an opinion. True. Especially if you've seen or played said thing that you are commenting on, right? But I don't know. I don't know how to say it. certain people's opinions, depending on where their mindset is and how they view things, if they come from too far off of a perspective that doesn't line up with the vast majority, therefore they're an outlier in how they think, means that their opinion is probably less valid. Valid to themselves if they truly feel that way, but if there's something that's irrational behind it or just misguided enough that doesn't line up with the core of who is watching said thing, their opinion doesn't mean as much, right? This is kind of a dramatic analogy, but let's say somebody was given the task of watching the movie and their background previously was only watching for adults rated R content dark horror movies. And this is their filmography. This is their background knowledge. Observational, accurate, knows how to break down a film with plot points, twists and turns, voice acting, music, etc. And they watch this movie and they're like, this is a 0 out of 10. This is like this is a 0 out of 10. What is this? What is this cartoon CG stuff? What's up with these voices? What's this dinosaur egg thing? This isn't scary. This is nothing. The person could speak on the technical merits of plot points and story and scene breakdown, but gosh, they're so far disconnected from what's the movie made for. It's made for a franchise of fans that have been around for 40 years that have a deep connection to the game, to the series, to even the creators of it, like Nintendo more so than any other company. A lot of Nintendo fans are fans, yes, of Mario, Zelda, Splatoon. But a lot of Nintendo fans are fans also of Mr. Miyamoto, Reggie Fils-Aimé, Mr. Iwata, So the Nintendo fandom, a big portion of it, is very different. And even if you take away the hardcore and just look at the people that have been buying the games for generations, that's games that you've played and invested hours of your life into that helped take you away from the pain of real life, whether it's school, whether it is workplace, whether it is whatever. It's an escapism, right? So this hardcore designated, rated R film reviewer wouldn't get any of that, and therefore their opinion would matter less to the overwhelming vast majority of folks watching this movie. And I'm saying, like, that's an extreme example. I'm not saying that someone online who is a fan of this stuff isn't entitled to not like it, but they may have something to them that if their opinion of the movie is so far, I'll just go say, like, no, you're wrong, You might not. It's almost like my Metroid Prime 4 Beyond thing. Who are you to say Metroid Prime 4 Beyond sucks? Because it absolutely doesn't. It might not be your thing, but in no universe is it accurate to say that it's a bad game. No, it's a good movie. I loved it. I get that some people might not love it because they might be a little bit more critical in certain aspects. But I'm looking at the whole 90 minutes. Did I have fun? Heck yeah, I had fun, I won't spoil anything. The theater was packed. Good to hear. The critics are pathetic man-children who are crying that their beloved IP isn't being executed exactly as they fantasize. ETT, that's a good point. It could be the critics have no knowledge of the material, or they're so adamant that it has to be a certain way that any deviation for them throws them off. They don't know how to deal with a little bit of, it's not for me. That's okay. It could be for many. Not going to say anything more about it. Yeah, exactly. Critics are too busy chasing clicks. They monetize drama. Sad but true. More people will pay more attention to negative than they will positive. Say good morning to 100 people. How many people will say good morning back and have a smile on their day? Say, I hope you have a lousy day to 100 people. How many people will remember that foul comment and respond back in a negative way? The percentage is probably higher on the latter, you know? Shouldn't be that way, but people are that way. Many, I should say. David Patterson is here. Welcome. Good afternoon, David. Welcome to the stream. I will say the theater we went to was so packed opening night. Not sure for other people. Yeah, my theater. So what I did was I checked the other screenings in 4 theaters around me, all at my like 12:01 time. The different auditoriums, even like within the same theater that I went to, uh, different like 12:10, 12:15, 12:30 showings, and a lot of them were packed. Upwards of like 90% packed per theater per showing. So that's pretty awesome right there. Because you got to realize, like, yeah, Mario has a lot of adult fans, but this is also going to be a big kids/family movie. I don't think I saw any children in the theater the night before at 12:01 midnight. Probably many did go, Wednesday afternoon, perhaps after school, or if folks are on spring break, students aren't in class. But even Wednesday, that's not the biggest movie day of the week. It's Easter weekend. You're going to have a solid Friday, Saturday, Sunday's worth of box office. I wonder if it will break more records. Chances are it'll break something, right? It was hard to get 5 tickets next to each other. Well, 6. That's cool. That's a good group too, by the way. Man, I don't know why, but when Paul said Iwata, I started tearing up. Yeah. Because, if you're here in this group, chances are you are a bigger Nintendo fan than just casual. So, we are some of the folks that I was referring to where we have this connection beyond the game, but it's to the company, it's to the developers, it's to the people who conduct interviews, who bring us directs, who we've read growing up in magazines. They are a very important part of our makeup. And that's a different type of connection that I don't see as powerfully in film, or in music. If you're a fan of this band, you like NSYNC, you like Taylor Swift, you like the musician, right? The singer, the artist, the person that's playing the guitar. But do you like the studio executive? Are you a fan of the president? Are you a fan of the person that's helping them navigate their tour, their crew folks? Do you even know who they are? Valuable people. But is there a connection? No, not quite like in video games, right? Tsukino Ame is here. Welcome. I'm sure the movie is good. There is this trend for the last 5 years or so to hate anything Nintendo. Popularity breeds jealousy. You said it right there. Popularity breeds jealousy. I use this analogy. Star Wars and Star Trek. Maybe you're a fan of Star Trek. You liked it. It came out first. The Star Wars thing came around, and you liked Star Wars too. But then Star Wars took off, and you liked Star Trek more because you've been there longer, and you liked Star Wars, but Star Wars is getting so much attention that people manifest their own battle of Star Wars versus Star Trek. Star Wars is better. And you don't agree, and you're like, no, I like Star Trek better. And then there's a shift even higher of Star Wars being even more popular, more dominant in the conversation. And then you end up being someone who now doesn't like Star Wars, hates it, and talks foul against it because the thing that you liked more not only became less popular, but started to lose the battle and started to get hated on, which created this own jealousy that you created because of other people's, you know, war that they developed. And that's how folks work. And that's how sports teams work. And that's a lot of stuff in life. So you see a very popular, very successful Nintendo. What are people going to do? They're going to try to rain on the parade. But what you can't rain on is that we've got 36 people watching now in this stream. And in addition to 36 people watching, our likes are at 21. So we're almost 2/3 there. So that's cool. Super Brahe is here, by the way, saying hi, y'all. Hi, Super Brahe. I had people online and message boards tell me that Metro Prime 4 is not my game of the year or that I didn't play enough games. I usually say I played the ones I cared enough to play. Yeah, Metro Prime 4 Beyond was definitely in contention of one of my Game of the Year's nominees. It didn't win it, but it was up there. There were some kids in your theater, but lots of adults, yeah. Shamrock Steel, hi there. I haven't seen a movie in theaters in a while. A Mario movie feels worth it. Absolutely, it's going to be worth it. I miss Mr. Iwata. It was thanks to him that Style Savvy was localized for Western audience. I love Style Savvy. Yeah, careful on movie spoilers. J Biggs, Star Trek over Star Wars. AJ Rack 0440 sending 5 PGN gifted memberships. Let's go. Boom. Big thank you. AJ Rax. Why did that turn out red? Let me fix that. Although that's okay. Thank you, AJ Rax. Helping the stream, helping the channel. We're at 170 members now. Closing in on 200. AJ Rax 0440 with the awesome, generous $5 holla. Thank you. Let's see who were the recipients. AJ, Goku, TD6SN, the Game Master 06, Pink Pig 99. Let's see, Nivian Askemen Barbarossa 971. That's a mouthful. I might have said that wrong. And Toku Pudding. Welcome. Dank Meme Center X. Hey, Paul. Hey, Dank. Welcome. Tsukino Ame and Pokemon Fan 34 giving AJ some props. Heck yeah. Yeah, thank you. As I mentioned earlier, we're at a pretty healthy level of subscribers at 8980. Some of these names that just got dropped by AJ are unfamiliar, so it could very well be that some of the new subscribers just became new members as we approach 200, and that's pretty cool to see. Slowly growing. Maybe when we hit 9,000, the theme of the stream will be, it's over 9,000? In honor of Dragon Ball Z and Vegeta's classic line. Thank me, Center X. If someone is worried about your chosen Game of the Year, perhaps they're upset with you liking it much more than them. Stop the pocket watching. I don't buy all games that drop because I respect my time. Good point. It's also true. You're wrong because you thought that Breath of the Wild was a 10. How could you think that? I played the same game. And you're wrong for liking the fact that weapons break. You're out of your mind. You're wrong that you were okay with 100 mini dungeons over 6 big traditional thematic ones. You're wrong for liking it that much. How dare you? Dude, like, and you hear that that is a real take that people have. Breath of the Wild became my favorite game of all time. I love it. But you're wrong for liking Pokemon Legends ZA or for anything. You know what I mean? Nah, man, if you like it, that's fine. Be happy with more in life than not. Don't get worked up over everything. Doesn't mean you have to blindly follow and not have your own opinion. But I think it's better to be more easygoing than critical. Yeah, but be you. A bit random, got my Elephant Mario amiibo in. Probably should have gotten the Captain Toad at the same time, but gotta get a shelf for them. LOL, running out of space. Man, you telling me. Running out of space. I know how that is. I mean, there is room to go on this wall. There's room to go on that wall. I mean, to be honest, I've got some shelves here. Well, I don't have shelves. I've got some space for shelves there. It's just nice to see them myself when I walk into the room, and nice to see them when I'm looking, on screen to see stuff in the background. It's kind of, cool. You got to make some more shelves, Dink. J Biggs. The last movies I saw in theaters, I think you're saying, was the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Then you also saw Happy Time Murders, Black Panther, Biggie Smalls movie, Tsukino Ame. I have not been to the movie since I was a kid. Ah. Will you go see this one? Any plans? David Patterson saying, hey guys, sorry for the late response. Walking my dog and listening and watching Paul and my dog Diamond at the same time. Well, that sounds like a fun morning or fun early afternoon, David. Nice, healthy walk. Getting in some good exercise. Bonding time with your pup. That's fun. Giving your doggo some good exercise. That's healthy. And listening to some PGN Live, having some good video game vibes, entertain you in the day. That's a nice activity right there. Way to multitask, Thank you for being here. Oh. Looney Loon. I love that controller jacket Paul is wearing. Is it a zip up? Yes, it is. It is a... I'm sitting, so the zipper's kind of funny at the moment. But yeah, it's an NES controller. I wouldn't mind more of these, I noticed there's not a lot of, Super Nintendo merch out there. You see a decent amount of Nintendo 64 logo shirts. Not a whole lot of, controller shirts of N64. You see a lot of NES stuff. Classically trained NES logo, NES breakdown, controller, system, cartridges, lots of that. Not a whole lot of Super Nintendo or Nintendo GameCube shirts. Wii? Jeez, aside from my Wii shirts, you don't see any Wii shirts out there. Game Boy, you get some Game Boy stuff, some Game Boy tank tops and whatnot out there. Wii U, nothing on that end. Virtual Boy, no. DS or 3DS? Not really. I mean, aside from my DS shirt, no. Character specific stuff? Mario, everywhere. Mario, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, plentiful. Kirby, quite a bit. And then you've got some Animal Crossing, and you've got Zelda. I'm ready for some growth, though. I'm ready for some stores expanding. And I think that's going to happen with movies. I think there's going to be a greater push for more partnerships with companies when it comes to Zelda once that Zelda movie drops. I think we eventually get a Star Fox movie, hopefully. And if and when we do, you'll see toys at your Targets and Walmarts, Best Buys, GameStops. You'll see Star Fox T-shirts at Hot Topic and Targets alike. More available, more easily available on Amazon. Uh, Lunch pails, line of amiibo, posters, cool jackets. Star Fox uh, collaboration with 7-Elevens around the United States. Get your R-Wing slushie and like that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's room for Nintendo to grow so that a lot of their IP are out there in more than just gaming. Like the constant desire to have Pikmin grow. Maybe eventually you'll be just walking into the store and like, yeah, one of the things that's like almost always available in rotation is some type of new Pikmin shirt because it's that popular. I would like to see that with Metroid. Will it happen? I don't know. I imagine that a couple of successful Metroid games in a row and a Metroid movie that's a big hit would be enough to shift it over to start seeing a little bit more Metroid mainstream. Thank you, Looney Loon, for the jacket comment. It's so cool. David Patterson for sure. Actually, I went to the movie theater more than I remembered. Let me add Batman v Superman. Yep. Tupac, Revenge of the Sith. Yep. Nothing for the Super Famicom then. Yeah, Ding Meme Center X, not really. Like, Super Famicom, SNES shirts, I just don't see a lot of out there. I would proudly, happily wear an SNES shirt, whether it's the system itself and a controller and like this cool breakdown of it, or the system and a controller in a nice pose with, some cartridge spread of some of the top several games that released on it. Give me a Nintendo GameCube shirt with the GCN logo in the middle. It'd be plain, right? It'd be like a plain black shirt with the GameCube logo smack dab in the middle. Maybe a little too plain, but maybe not. If you look at the N64 shirt, I have a couple of them. All it is the logo and the word Nintendo and then 64 the number. And it's a cool shirt. I like it. Egomaniac 87, what's up? I think now might be a good time, since we have 31 watching and 27 likes, it might be a good time to do our Famitsu sales. How about that? Let me read one last comment, though, I think. Yeah, more readily accessible merchandise would be nice. Seeing the Japanese store be having the sick fits and import fees are kind of up there. You know what I would like? Those pillows from the Nintendo Museum in Japan. Dang. They've got the Super Famicom, Wii Remote, NES, SNES, I think, controllers. Dang. I would fill my couch up with one of each. Like, here's the Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo Entertainment System, Nintendo 64, Nintendo GameCube, Wii Remote, Wii U Gamepad, give it to me. Nintendo Switch Joy-Con? Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Con? Like, I'd buy one of each. Or maybe in the case of Nintendo Switch, either a Joy-Con or a Joy-Con in the grip, or the system itself. And for Nintendo Switch 2, perhaps the Pro Controller 2. I don't know. But yeah, that would make for some fun couch entertainment. You wouldn't want to use them. You wouldn't want to get them like all, flattened out and stuff. Here's a good take. I legitimately don't care about what any critic says. I've seen some of the things they praise. The movie is fun and another love letter to Mario and company. Definitely worth a watch. Yeah, dude, it's fun. It's fun. All right, let's go over the Famitsu Sales, shall we? This is coming to us from Japan. Famitsu Sales come out every Thursday morning. Right now, I'm reading it in particular from installbaseforum.com, put together by Chris, 1964, over there. Nice, clear, easily readable, digestible list. Let's go. The best-selling game of the week was Pokemon Pokopia. For Nintendo Switch 2, it did 48,772 copies. In second, the Nintendo Switch version of Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection, which moved 18,238 copies. Also a new entry for the week, by the way. In third, Nintendo Switch 2's release of Super Mario Bros. Wonder. That's with Meetup in Bellabelle Park. It did 10,158. In fourth, Mario Kart World on Nintendo Switch 2, which did 7,005 copies. In fifth, he still got it up here, Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection on NS2, which moved 5,477 units. In sixth, PS5's Crimson Desert, which did 5,265 units. In seventh, the Pokemon Fire Red, Pokemon Leaf Green Nintendo Switch download card, and that did 5,214 copies. In eighth, Winning Post 10 2026, which did 4,747 copies. In ninth, Mario Tennis Fever for Nintendo Switch 2, which did 4,657 copies. And in 10th, Winning Post 10 2026, the PS5 version, that did 4,540. So you look at the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5 version of that same game, Winning Post 10, and comparable, you know. Sometimes you get something like a 2-to-1 ratio on one game, or 5-to-1. This one, quite equal, comparable, 47-47, 45-40. Interesting to note, though, perhaps, no Monster Hunter Stories 3 on PS5 anymore in the top 10, and no Resident Evil Requiem in the top 10 on either version. PS5 not here, nor is NS2 here. Before we get into hardware, let's look at some comments again, though. Good novelty to have, yeah. John Doe Juggalo is here. Good afternoon, Paul. Taking the whole family to the XL Regal screen to see Mario in 3D this evening. So excited. That sounds cool. I have not... You know what? I might do that. Maybe. I might see it in 3D. Also, like, I will see it at least one more time in theaters this weekend. I imagine probably more than just one more time, but this weekend, Saturday, I'm going with the whole family. But one of my showings that I attend might be in 3D. I hope you have a great time, though. XL Regal screen. I'm guessing the XL stands for extra large, right? Dang, you're going to have a good time. Dang, Meme Center X. Install base with a scoop. Gematsu, on the other hand, at times, it's editorial. Curious if they'll make a better cover art for Mario Wonder Switch 2 edition. It too much going on with all the legal. You know what? It wouldn't be a bad thing if... Okay. Hey, companies. How much more would it cost, or how much more inconvenient would it be if you made dual-sided covers? Either one with all of the legal jargon and the MSRP, well, not the MSRP, but the ESRB, I should say. The T rating, the M rating, the whatever you have, right? One with all that, and one the same art, but without anything. Or if you have to, still have like the rated E for everyone on it, fine, but on the inside cover, not have, download code, this, that, little white lines of text and numbers and such. That could be cool. Or on the flip side, just a totally different other piece of art, right? It can't be nothing to print it on both sides. It has to cost something. But is it small enough that, like, hey, just make this like a standard going forward? That'd be pretty cool. But the reality is, you could just be someone out there online who's a Nintendo fan, PlayStation, Xbox fan, whatever, that starts printing your own files and makes it available for people. I'm sure there are people like that. In fact, I know you could just do it right now. Like, you could look up box art of said game, print it out on your own printer, good quality paper, cut it, and slip it in, and there you go. So you have your own. Or another alternative, what if companies just made it officially available as this PDF that you could download for free on their company website? But yeah, you're responsible for the print. Or you could go have it printed at a FedEx or something like that for 10 cents or something. Wouldn't be a bad idea though. I hear Peach. Peach was funny this morning. She's always funny. I'm surprised RE isn't still on the top of the charts. Yeah. This will be a game where its total global sales will be made up far more in the West than in Japan. It did fine numbers in Japan, but the vast majority of these sales will not be coming from that country. It's probably in the top 30 though. The PS5 version, might be, in that like 17th spot or something. The Nintendo Switch 2 version could be 30, or it might have been bumped out. That's my game of the year so far, though. Kind of surprised MHS3 is doing alright despite the shabby NS2 performance and seemingly lacking a new twist. Yeah, I'm glad it's doing well. I mean, I had fun with a demo. I wasn't going to pick up the game, but fun enough a time with a demo that I'm like, I'm happy that it's out, and I'm glad for the big fans of the stories line that they're enjoying it for the most part, I think. Mr. Sushi Hut, just wanted to pop in and say that you were right. The Mario Galaxy movie was amazing. It makes the game seem more meaningful now. And I love Fox. Heck yeah. I'm glad you had a good time. I'm telling you. Let this movie dominate the box office for 4 weeks. And then drop this announcement for a new Star Fox game. You've recently seen him in the Super Mario Galaxy movie coming this summer. Bam, ba ba bam, ba ba bam, ba ba bam, dun 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 bam 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 ba da bam bam ba da bam 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 ba ba da bam bam ba da bam 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 ba da bam. Do a barrel roll and have this beautiful trailer of Star Fox Returns coming to Nintendo Switch 2 June 4th, 2026, right before the 1 year anniversary of Nintendo Switch 2. See Star Fox again in theaters now before the game's release. Get a little bit of a tick in the movies again, have it roll into the summer, have the game do well. Maybe in a June Direct, show off the next 3D Mario game. Maybe not if it's not coming till like November 2027. But if you plan on showing it off this year, they can capitalize on the movie. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, same thing. Yoshi, one of the hit stars of the Super Mario Galaxy movie, is now Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. Sorry, got distracted by Peach over there giving me a shower. What was I saying? Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, another one. Yoshi, one of the hit stars of the Super Mario Galaxy movie. See him in his new adventure releasing, May 21st. Is it May 21st? Yoshi and the Mysterious Book? What's the release date? May 21st, yeah. Once again, a little bit of a kick up in theater tickets. Theater tickets help the game sell well. All rolling together nicely, cohesively, right? Oh, wahoo, says Fire Legend. So cool to see Fox back, says Game Center X. Pokemon Fan 34, nice. I was kind of hoping for a reversible cover art from the first box art showings last year. Game Center X, yeah, they did some Switch 1 games like Bravely Default 2, which were nice. More talking about the split art design. Just make a new design if you want to not confuse people in the retails. True, like Nate the Hate said. I'll wait for the great Capcom sale for MHS3, lol. RE will return once the new content comes in, but the bulk is more Western given the horror genre vibes. Ties, sorry. Be back all. See you soon, Pokemon Fan 34. Paladin 8669. Hi, Paul and Co. Hi there. Welcome. Okay, let's get to the hardware sales, right? That's kind of how I like doing it, by the way. I mean, enough of you are watching now that you know that I like my video game sales data. I enjoy reading them off. I like following the trends. I like to see what is cooking, what's doing well. Helps me come up with my own analysis of how I think things are going to be. But one of the ways I like to read it is not just super robotic. I like to chime in a little bit here and there, but then regardless of how I read it, I like to have a little pause between the software and hardware, get back to comments, and then get to hardware, So it makes the segment last a little longer, but maybe a little bit more entertaining, especially if you're not into the numbers as much. You get something else, in the meantime, right? Okay, let's get to hardware. The best-selling console of the week was Nintendo Switch 2, which did 65,725 copies. Excuse me. Okay, I want to cough in the microphone, blow out your ears. Yeah, 65,725 units. Nintendo Switch 2, very solid. Which means, by the way, because this went from March 23rd through March 29th, so that's the last data for March. Yeah, the next one will be, the 30th of March through April 5th, but we know now for the first quarter, the first 3 months essentially in Japan, 1,167,449 units is what Nintendo Switch 2 did. So you have that 17.3 million. Japan alone added on another 1 point almost 2. So you're looking at 18.5 plus there. You mean to tell me that Nintendo didn't hit 19? Come on. Nintendo Switch 2 past 19 and by my estimation, hit 20, could be a little bit higher than 20. But very strong NS2. PS5 did 19,404 units for the last week time frame in Japan. It's at 188,788 for the year. Nintendo Switch, not too far behind PS5, did 18,542 units. And it's at a good amount more than PS5 for the year, 268,853 units sold. That's a healthy amount more. That's 80,000 more. Xbox Series at 440, 7,077 for the year. Hardly worth mentioning, but unfortunately, I like to be accurate. And PS4 with 16, 275. Like I said, PS4 had its time, kind of like the 3DS had its time, and it gets tracked for a few years after even. But okay. I didn't put up a poll today, but yesterday's poll was pretty strong. A strong case that showed, I think it was 73 or 77% of this community watched or intends to watch the Super Mario Galaxy movie in theaters, with the other, 33 or 27% of people being like, oh, I'll wait till. Oh, sorry, 23 to 27% of people. I'll wait till it comes out on stream or Blu-ray or something. I think it's worth seeing theatrically because one big, bright, colorful screen is just a fun experience. Two, to be there early in the conversation while something like this is hot makes you more well versed to share different fun things with other like-minded people and then just be a part of that hype. Three, not to be spoiled by anything, so you have the maximum level of wow factor from it. Yeah. And there was a fourth. And the fourth is probably what I should have said first. Fourth. Crowd factor. You watch, I like this. For some people, they don't. I like a big crowd of fellow passionate fans that are wooing and cheering and clapping and yelling and wowing, awesoming throughout the film. Could it be too much that you can't even hear what's going on sometimes? Possibly. Not the biggest deal though, but usually just the right amount of folks that are clapping, laughing, whatever. It kind of adds to the experience, It's almost like do you have fun watching a sports game of your favorite sport at home by yourself? Mm-hmm. Watching it with a few friends? Oh yeah, a little bit more. Watching it at a sports bar with several more people? Okay. Going to an auditorium, going to an arena, and watching it with thousands of others? All right. A big deal sports game cranked up to the max with fans alike in an arena with your friends also there, oh man, that's an experience. Then you are raving and cheering and everything. Pokemon Fan 34 back all. I don't know if you were here when Peach was giving me a shower, but Peach was here if you rewind a few minutes. But yeah, that's another reason why I recommend going to the theater is that big experience of like lots of people. Now, if you don't like that, all you gotta do is like go to a Thursday morning, Tuesday morning showing at 10 a.m. and like you're gonna be the only one there. Well, maybe not the only one there in a brand new movie, but it's not gonna be a full sellout movie next week at some weirdish morning time or in a couple of weeks, right? So then you won't get the crowd experience, but you'll get the uh, still early enough to talk with people online experience, talk with friends, the big movie experience, the wow factor, not having to wait for a couple of months. But to each their own, some folks just aren't movie theater goers, and then there's also cost, and there's also the drive, and potentially germs, and different folks have different hang-ups, and that's okay. But I definitely recommend the movie. Just rewind like 5 minutes. I think it's got to be less than a few. You'll probably see it if you just go back. I mean, the stream's about to end in a minute, so once I close the stream, probably is a good time to like I'll go back and watch it. By the way, before I go, since we've got 34 people watching, if y'all don't mind, once this stream is done, check out some of the recent shorts put up on the channel. Your view, your like is greatly appreciated. We finished up the Super Mario Galaxy movie countdown, so there's nothing more to do there. Now it's just back to gaming history until I do another countdown series, probably in the near future. I don't know what it will be yet. I am doing a monthly countdown series for the Zelda movie, though. That's still going on. But yeah, the next game countdown, Wolverine, Grand Theft Auto 6. There are some possibilities, but we'll see. But alrighty, that's going to do it for today's stream. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, AJ Rax 0440 for the awesome, generous $5 super chat. I appreciate it. I hope you all have a good rest of your day. And I might be back on later today for more. But if not, Friday morning, Okay. Take care. See you all later.